Okay, we're back on the head milling here. So the other day I broke my cutter off, cutting right here. It came across here on the back side and snapped the bit off. It hooked the fin and tried to rip it off the machine, but the carbide insert, or not insert, but welded on tip fell off. So basically they have tips on them like this. These are different bars we got. This is the whole kit here. So this is an insert style, which I can replace the insert. But you can't run this here because the fins are in the way right here. So you'd be cutting a 3/4 inch groove out of your fins right here, which would not look too good. So we need something smaller. So I was doing something like this, and then of course it's made to cut here and not on the back side. So when the back side started chunking in here, it grabbed a hold of the bit and just knocked it, just ripped it right out the end of the bar. Because this was ground back so thin to make it where I needed. It didn't have much holding power there, as you can tell, so it fell off. It has no more edge. So these are different ones I had to choose from. Here's an insert bar small. I could have ground this whole thing all the way off. So, but I didn't want to destroy that doing that. These are a little bit short, not quite big enough. You can see how thick the shank was on this one. That gives a lot of vibration resistance. This was a good height I had too. So this one here would have been the right height, but it's real thin. So it's too short to use. These things chatter real bad when they get real small like this. So I took the one that was in here that pretty much looked like this one behind it, except shorter. And I ground the whole side of it off right here. Basically from here, went straight down and thinned it up a little bit. That used to be round, so now it's not quite, it's half round. So now this will cut from both sides. I sharpen it so it will cut on the back side as well as the front side and on the bottom. So it cuts all three sides. So now when this is coming across, it catches that fin, it's going to cut that fin. It ain't going to rub against it. It will cut it right off. So I can come right in through here and cut it down and cut it right on out there. Hopefully we're not going to cut too much, but we are going to be cutting into it a little bit. So the more I cut this over, the more I can bring it down. So I'll step it down until I get to the height I need. So that's where we're at. So now we get to go ahead and get back to cutting him this. Let's get this tripod set up here. Yep. There it is. Yeah, we're supposed to be over in this area. So we'll see how this new cutter works. Because we haven't used it yet, obviously. So we got a full opportunity to break off another one. It'll be the first time I've done stuff like that. What the hell? I'm going to do it right, right? Okay, where's my tool at? Okay, now I have to get this insert or cutter near straight. So like I showed before, you put the scale on the side of the bit here, and that gives you a tangent line to work from. So you got positive rake, negative rake, neutral rake. So you want to try to be not quite neutral, slightly positive for aluminum because it cuts better, keeps it cleaner. Kind of like the pocket knife digging in. We're going to be cutting backwards, so that means we'll have the bit in backwards again. Way over here. I can vary how far I want this thing in there. Let's see, where's my marker at? So I have a little bit of a spot here where I was putting in backwards before. These are all the spots around the front side. This was never made to be pinched against. That's why it's full round. Of course I cheat, like always. No reason to be normal, right? Alright, so we're going to have about this much here hanging down. I think I might raise that up a little bit. We'll see. Let's see if I can catch that mark that's in there already. Alright, in that area. there's the mark. It matters. Okay, we're a little bit off tangent. A little bit more. That should be a pretty good positive amount of rake in there. If you go on Google carbide or tool bit insert sharpening, you'll see what we're doing here. Sharpening tool bit's the skill. Everything that you do, every little angle makes a difference. So now when you look down the center of my hole here, if I was dead center it'd be straight, and if we're slightly cocked to the left it'll be positive, like this way here. So right now we are just about neutral, and my bit has a positive angle cut in and ground into it at an angle. You can see it. So that should give me a positive cutting surface, which should make it cut really good in aluminum. Alright. We also need to get the depth set on how far I'm going down. I need to go down, I think it's 800. Let's see, 750 port. Look at my cheat sheet here. It's hard to read my cheat sheet, it's too old. 30-year-old cheat sheet, the numbers are disappearing. Let's see here, somewhere I got that written down. 3/4 tall, it's 800 tall right there. It's crossed out 3/4, I made it 800. Moved it up. And we're 2.050 on the OD. And right now we are around 600. So 800 is going to be just above that weld mark right there is where we're going down to. So we'll be into this area down in here pretty heavy. I want 2050, there's my caliper. Always check to make sure your caliper's zero before you measure anything. So we are right now, you got 2. So you got 2 inches right here, you go over 1, 2 lines, it's 200 thou, and we're 50. So we're 2050. So we got to cut off 200 thousand still. So half of this material here will be going off. Alright, so I'm not sure where we're at on depth or diameter or anything, because now it's a completely different cutter than what it was before. So first thing is we're cutting a lot deeper than we were. So we need to move it out a little bit. Just move a little closer, you can see. So you're going to move this out until you get off the edge. Okay, there's off the edge, and where it bottoms out, it's right there. Not quite where we were before. So we got room for advancement there. And that will cut quite a bit of that fin off. Okay. Turn it back because everything's backwards. We can should be able to take a decent cut with this cutter. Zero out my dial there. Okay, that should be a nice little work-up cut. Change my depth stop a little bit so I don't bang into it. Oop, pull back a little bit. Alright, let's see what happens here. Put a little bit of drag on it. Cuts nicely. Okay, first cut good. How new sharp bits are supposed to cut. So you can see the finish we got here is real smooth. You can see the old finish here was decent, but it's really rough compared to this. It's like going from 100 grit to 200 grit. Yeah, maybe 300 grit. So you can see how the new cutter is cutting pretty nice. Alright, so now I'm going to go a little bit deeper. I'm going to cut in deeper and go down deeper and start hitting that fin. And see what happens. some point it's going to hit it. But this time, instead of breaking, it should cut. At least that's what we want it to do. So anyway, we're gonna pay attention right in that area to see what happens when we hit it. And I'm gonna go ahead and move this in a little bit. Let's see how much we actually cut that time. That was a massive 25 thou cut. We're gonna cut 100 thou. 50, 100. That ought to be a noticeable cut now. Boom. Keep stationing it down until it hits. Hit yet, but I can tell. There it goes. Just hit the pin. Put the chip there. Nice cut. Okay, it's just starting to hit the fin. Got more depth to go. And now we're at 2.130. So we got another 30 thou to get to 100, and then we got another 50 go after that. So we got 80 thou to go. 50 and 30 is 80. Okay, so we're gonna get 50 thou. Just half a turn. We have to go down until we get to our depth this time, so we'll be cutting the fin away. Got no choice. Have to start making it go away. Turn the cutter the right way. I'm going to cut it, it's going to break. We'll find out. Cuts like a glove. So we were cutting over 100 thou on this side of the port and cutting the fin on this side. Seemed to cut pretty good. You can see how deep we are. Looks like we're still only like 600 something thou deep, so we gotta go a lot deeper than this. So we're gonna start feeding it on down. I'm going to take a big cut. I got a couple hundred thou to go yet almost. About 175. So we're going to start cutting right into here, and we're making a big pass on this side. That's a big thick cut. See how deep it is here? You can see how it's starting to chatter a little bit on the back side because the cut's so big. But we have no choice because we're cutting the fin away when we want to make it small as cut we could. So we'll go ahead and move this down a little bit. 1, 2. That'll be a noticeable cut. Alright. Same cut, we're just going to power on through and see what happens. We can wad it up, that's all we can do. Okay, we're cutting down the area we cut. Okay, about there we're going to start cutting. There we go, right there, coming in. We cut pretty good. Give it some more. Okay. That's a pretty hefty cut. You can see how much we're cutting there. Real heavy cut. So. See how the cutter's holding up really good. Nice strong cutter. You can see how it's cutting on the fin on this side over here. Obviously we're cutting the hell out of it on this side on the cutting edge. There's no rubbing on the back, so we got clearance. See nothing, no metal sticking on the back side. You don't see any metal sticking on the back side, and the finish looks pretty good, even though we're plunging. See, that's a pretty good plunge up there. We're cutting that whole fin off. That's almost 3/8 inch width there. That's a big cut. But the cutter's taking it fine. It's a lot stronger than the one that broke, so we upgraded. And it looks like we are right at about 800. Pretty close. I don't think I can get in there to actually measure it. No. Can't really measure it accurately. I'm at a severe angle right here. See, it's supposed to be perpendicular and we're not. See? Way too close to tell. Yeah, I gotta pull that back a little bit. Oh, so we're measuring it right like this, which is not, it's not straight. But even so, we're at 800. That's 785, which is a false number. Oop. Just knock my piece off. So 785, so it looks like we can take just a tick more off. Now this piece right here that just fell off, piece of plastic. This is broken. This keeps this from falling out, from getting up in the air like this. Like that. That's what its job is for. So I'm going to put this back on. Now it's going to be a two-handed job. And we got to cut deeper. Yeah, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back. Okay, I got a depth mic here. So this has a pin that goes down. Tells you how deep you are. Just go across the port. You hold it up there. You go down until you touch. So you rotate the knob here, right here. And when it touches, it stops. You pull it up and you measure it. So there's your mic. So we're on 14 thou actually. So we're 14 thou under 800. So I gotta go down 14 thousandths more depth than what we had. So instead of moving it up here with a big chump up here, we drop down to our table over here, which we got set on 0 down here. We bump it up 14. That's not 14. There's 14. And we go ahead and hit it. Now it's probably going to cut an extra one, so we'll come back to 13. You still might cut an extra one because every time you restop it, until the load's off, it keeps cutting deeper. So that's not that matter accurate, but I'll probably be about thou too deep, I bet, in this watch. Okay, we also got to cut the OD down a little bit more. So let's go ahead and measure that. See where we're at. Okay, we're at 2080. So we go down another 30 more thou there. So we'll take out a little bit over half of that. We'll take out 20. So you take it down to 20. That should leave 10 on the OD, and the depth should go pretty much where we want it to be. That might be a thou too much, but I can live with that. It's not that important. And we'll try it again. So that you just barely kiss the bottom at the very bottom, lightly. Finish looks good. Okay, that sure sounded like it cut more than 15 or 14 more, but let's see. Yep, I cut 4 thou more than I should have. Oh well. I guess I'm fired now. Alright, so that dimension's not that critical. The OD I like it to be closer. So that we're holding pretty good. We got 10 more to go, just like we're supposed to. We're going to back this dial up a couple thou, bring it back to 10. And we'll go ahead up here and give this another 10 thou roughly. Where are we at? Right on the money, it's 30. Okay, let's see what exactly we're on this. We are right on 60, it says. 59.5, 60. Okay, so we're going to cut on a half a thou. Half a thou under, so that should cut pretty close to right on the money. Because we have less chip load, it'll cut a little more than when I had the chip load on. That's how much flux power is in it. So it should be pretty close. Let's see what we get. 2 within a thou anyway, but should be just about on the money. Okay. That's pretty stinking close to right on the money. About 2/10 low. Pretty much right about what I thought it was going to do. So, look at the dial. And when you measure it this way, it makes it even worse. You know, it's not close when I was up around here. Now I'm getting a thou off. Jeez, how'd that happen? And I'm a thousandth. That was a 2/10. Oh well. Whatever I measured before. So yeah, we're right over here, we're 2/10. Whoop. So calipers are not the most accurate thing in the world to be measuring with. We're just almost a thou. But see, I can put pressure on it by cheating. That flex, that's just flex. So we're just under a thou off. Oop. Let's hit the camera some more. Yeah, lost in where I'm at. Okay, so you can see how there's no porosity holes in here. Nice clean weld all the way around. Usually if you have porosity you can hear it. So that's a nice clean weld. So that's pretty good job. Now I got a chamfer both inside and outside. So I got a different cutter for that. And all of this right through here on the bottom, we'll have to hand grind that. And the fin only got cut that much, so not too bad. So I can live with that. Get a different tool in here. Guess the mark I just left, those 2 big ones right there. So I need to come across here and grind a flat across that and make it more accurate. We'll get right on that. Maybe later. Camera's in the way. Okay, what I use for chamfering is I take a fly cutter, old one that takes takes a bit, just a cutting bit, and you can see it's been ground at a chamfer angle, so I just come down and just kiss the corner and it knocks off at that angle. It's pretty straightforward. You can see I ground a flat spot here, and then I'm digging in on the back side. So let's go ahead and do the back side first. Same deal, we got to center up the cutter. The best we can anyway. That should be close enough. Okay. I'm going to move it way out until it gets the right diameter. Okay, right there should be good. Make sure you clear everything as that comes around. Set our depth stop up here. We'll feed the table into it. to make sure it clears everything, so you got to spin it around. So that should be fine. Usually you got to slow it down a little bit. We're not going to cut this at 1200 RPM. Going to make it a little bit less. .840 is good. Okay, now I just I turn the crank the handle down here until I get to what I want. I'm going to cut the chamfer on that. So, this over here where I can get to it. I'm just cranking my table up right here. And we just started cutting on it. Good. Okay, so you got a nice chamfer on there that lets the pipe go on there. So you can see how that comes around, just cuts on that. Okay, so now I'm going to take this off and we'll flip around the other side and do the other one. So that looks like about a 35-40 thou chamfer. The cutter's in my way so I can't get in there and read it. Anyway, if you look at your number right here, that's probably close to a 50 thou chamfer. 45, 50. That's good. I like those numbers. Okay, see, I get this out of the way a little bit. Actually, we don't have to do that. Or do we? Yeah, probably do. Okay, so now we take this and move it up. Turn off stop. Get that back up out of the way. Now I got to take this out of here. Move it from the back hole here to this hole. And then flip it 180 so it cuts to the inside. And we do our inside cut. Same tool, just change where the location of the bit's at. Most cutting is all about just changing locations of how you do angles. This boring bar is just about maxed out. See, it's kicked out way out here. It's also why it's vibrating so much, it's kind of out of balance right now. Kick it all the way back in. It's getting hard to go up. All these marks in here. It looks like I put a new mark on it. I'm up here now instead of I was down there. Oops. So we just take a fine file and take off the high spots. Now it should go inside the bar a lot easier. Oh, look at that, it goes in a lot easier now. Alright, so I've got to crank this in until it gets to the angle we need here for the diameter. Alright, check my offset, and offset is way off. It's really dangerous leaving it in there like that too, because it'll come around and hit me. If I accidentally turn the machine on right now, it would get interesting. So you shouldn't do stuff like that. Not good. Okay, that looks good. Let's see if we might run out of, hopefully we don't run out of crank here. We're just about there. Oh, we just made it. Alright, so now we're going the other direction on the boring bar. Some boring bars won't let you come back that far. This one does. Which is good, because we needed it. Okay. Lock that down, flip it on. Try to speed up a little bit more because it's a smaller diameter. And now we're going to crank it up on the table again. And we just started hitting right there. So we just hit. So now if we take it and go down here, This here about 30, so there's 10, there's 20. A lot of these times you go half what you want. That should be about where we want it to be. Back it off a little bit. You're cutting at a 45-degree angle, so it cuts twice what you're going down. So I went down about 23 thou, so that should cut me pretty close to a 50 thou. Okay, I got to stop here, so I can go ahead and take the table up, move it up, get the cutter out of the way so I can see what I got. So you can see the inside chamfer now is right there. It's not quite as much as the one on the outside, but that's okay. So you don't have any sharp edges here. Looks nice. So that looks pretty good. Now we'll go ahead and pull it off so you can see it. Better view. And we need to do another head. Okay, get the tools out of the way helps. This out of here. Clamp out of the way here. My shim plate protects the head. Okay, I gotta get the chips sucked off of here. That was quick. Okay. Pull the bolts out. Make sure you don't lose your shims. You got into one bolt over here. Alright, so here's the shims we had. Those were what, 90 thou I think? 89, 90, something like that. I remember from a day ago. Actually, it's a couple days ago. I guess I was busy. Alright, so there's what the head looks like. Come over here and we'll blow the chips out of it. Where did my garbage can go? There it is. Lost my garbage can. Try to keep the mess to a minimum. Alright, so now there's your exhaust port. Back on the head like it belongs. So, nice port. The ID lines up really good in here, so very little port matching to be done, so it'll flow really good. The angle should be correct. And we have a slightly more room for the exhaust clamp clearance because we cut the fin away a little bit. That was unintentional, but we had to do it. Now this has a big burr on the fin here. I'll knock that off when I do my cleanup. So next thing I got to do is come back and grind this down right here until it's flush with the original head, so it kind of disappears what you did. We don't like seeing what we did. That's cheating. So here's your before and after. Yeah, it looks slightly different, see? Actually, this looks totally different because it's a shovel head. I grabbed the wrong head. Yeah. Dumbass. This one's a panhead here, though. I just gotta hold it. There we go. Okay, there's your before and after your heads. So you can see what they look like before and after. And there's what they look like. So there you go. Alright, I'll get the other one set up. We'll get back on that one. So give me a couple minutes, I'll get cleaned up.